Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. I am enjoying the washi tape videos, so thank you so much for all of your love. Honestly, it's an addiction. I have to admit it's an addiction. I decided in this video I'm going to use some molds that I have not used on my channel for probably well over 3 years, and I'm going to go kind of darker and moodier colours I don't usually use at all. And this is the washi tape. Oh my goodness me. Now, we are not in autumnal weather right now. We're not. It's nowhere near Halloween. However, I can't resist, guys. I cannot resist. I decided to give myself a bookmark with a charm hanging off the side. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I've started to read some more. I've started to finally find some time every evening to sit down and read my book. It seems to take me about 2 years to read a book. I figured if I make a bookmark and with a charm attached, the bookmark could go in the book and the charm could kind of hang and dangle outside the book, if that makes sense. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to try it out. And like I said, I've not used these molds forever. Now, the washi tape I'm using has got loads of these gorgeous, neutral, very pale, muted tones like pale yellows and almost peach. But I decided I wanted to pull out the darkness, the dark reds and the burgundies, and I wanted to use purple. However, it really was a case of having to mix two colours together. I'm using the Let's Resin mica powder in purple and purpley red. Purple on its own was the wrong purple for the washi tape, and the purpley red on its own, it could have worked, but I just felt like my brain needed to know that I'd put some actual purple in with the purpley red. So I kind of held my washi tape up and over as I was mixing. Like, does it work yet? Does it match yet? You know, am I there yet? And I added some purple mica powder just to see if I could get this to match the washi tape a little bit more than it is doing. Now, all of the details for the washi tape shop will be in the description box below, alongside all of the details for the resin, which is Vista Resin, and of course, Let's Resin. I'm also an affiliate for them as well, so all of their details will also be in the description box. So anything you fancy from this video is all down below. So I added in some purple into my purpley red, and I felt like that was just enough. It was the right kind of shade. Not too purple, not too red, and it just about worked with the flowers that I could see on the washi tape. The irony of this is that I never even used any of the flowers, but I knew that it would work with all of the other details that are on the washi tape because it just kind of worked as an overall combination. Now, you don't want much resin when you're pouring in these bookmarks. These bookmarks can, if you actually fill them up and then dome them, they can be quite chunky, and that's not ideal for a bookmark. So I really wanted to create a bookmark as thin as I could possibly get it. And I knew that now I have my deburring tool, I'll be able to get off any sharp edges. As for these hearts, I had enough resin to pour 3 because that's usually how I roll. I generally don't, make just enough, but look at this. As I rolled the washi tape over, I was like, yes, this works. This works so beautifully. So this is 5 hours later. This is Vista Turbo Fast Cure Resin. 5 hours later, there is a fisheye right in the middle of my bookmark. I don't know why. Maybe it was too hot. I left too much heat on it. I decided at this point, instead of using any of the flowers or any of the pretty elements of this washi tape, I'm going to kind of keep it dark and moody, like a really moody, I want to say autumnal, even though we're in March. But I decided to just use the leaves, just use the branches, the berries and the leaves from this washi tape because I felt like they would work best on this kind of reddish purplish resin. Now, as mentioned in previous videos, I use a combination now of my finger and a cotton bud, and so many of you have given me advice, like I could use a silicone tool, I could use like a sponge rubber. You really can use whatever works best for you. So all you see me doing here is layering up and layering even more of these leaves down on top of my bookmark. Now, the reason I'm not going into too much detail on how I cut these out of the washi tape is because my last video showed that in immense detail, and if you watched the last video and you're back here, then I really didn't want you to have to sit through it again. If you are brand new to my channel and you've never seen this tape and you want to know exactly the best method to get this cut, then do check out my last video. And as you can see, as I did in the last video, I'm just going around the outside edge with a very, very sharp blade, gently, carefully. We don't want to ruin our silicone. And look at this. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of the woodlands, like it reminds me of the forest floor when you've got all of the leaves that have fallen from the trees and they're kind of covering the forest floor. That is what it reminded me of. And pumpkins. Yes, I know we're in March. I needed these pumpkins on there. This is the washi tape that has the most beautiful graphic images of like pumpkin clusters, and then I found these individual little ones. My plan was to put pumpkins all the way up the bookmark, but as soon as I put 2 on, I was like, nah, I don't like it. I've changed my mind so fast, it's unreal. So I decided to cut out more of a chunkier pumpkin to put right at the bottom of the bookmark, just to give it some visual weight. And then I left the little baby pumpkin just above, and that, honestly, that was all I wanted. I just felt like this was right up my street. These colours are so me. I love blue, yes, but when it comes to clothing, these are the colours I wear, guys. I wear browns, greens, burgundies. Very, very much my style. As for the heart, now this was a tad tricky. This heart mould, if you have it, you'll know it's rounded at the back. So it was a little bit kind of tricky to rub the washi tape down on because the mould kept rocking. And what I didn't want to do was break the seal between the resin and the mould because I didn't want any of my final layer getting down and inside. But a good rub, a little bit of a trim with a blade, and look at these. I did use a flower on the heart, as you can see, because I felt like it really worked. And then I felt like I needed this flower on the bookmark. Luckily, the washi tape has a whole array of the same flower but in different sizes, so I was able to find a much smaller flower that would work on the bookmark whilst also matching the heart. Now, as it stands, I didn't finish off the other 2 hearts. That's just going to be something I do in my own time. But yeah, next up is a coat of clear resin to finish them off, and I am really loving these. They are so moody. They are definitely colours that I don't explore that much on my channel, and this is the next day and it is demold time. I love it. So yes, very similar to previous washi tapes. This was filmed very close to my very first try at washi, and I still have some visible areas where it wasn't quite pressed down enough, so still very much a learning curve for me. And that is where I think I need to spend the majority of my time. We did get some overspill in the heart. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to just carve that off with my blade. And once I'd kind of done that, I decided to try and use my deburring tool on the side of this bookmark. Now, because I did not fill this bookmark mold right up to the very, very top and dome it, which would have been pretty, it has left me with these raised sharp edges. Now, if you are new to epoxy resin does sink. It kind of retracts, shrinks almost. You could fill up a mold to the exact level, and then the next day you'll see that it has dropped some, like 1/2 mil, and that will leave you with these raised sharp edges. So of course that is why most people usually fill to the very top and dome. It will save anything like sanding. If you know me, you know. Not my bag, not my cup of tea. I decided at this point, you know what, this is for me, this is for my book that I'm reading, so I'm just going to have a play and see what it's like to put washi tape straight on the front of the heart. Now, if you've watched my previous 2 videos, this washi tape is really strong. it is such a strong gluey bond that peeling it back up is really quite hard. If you get it in the wrong place and you want to change it out, it's a bit of a yank. You really have to yank it. So I figured it would be okay if I just covered the front of the heart in washi tape and didn't then coat it. I'm not coating this, I'm not sealing this in, I'm literally just sticking it on. And it worked so well. Of course, the front of this heart is kind of domed, it's rounded, so there are elements where you could spend a little time cutting the edges and folding them over the rounded edge of the heart. It would probably make it neater and it would come out neater. And especially with this pumpkin, I laid this pumpkin on and straight away I got a crease in there, and I tried to get it out with my nail but it didn't work. But it matches the bookmark now and I love it so much. I did decide I couldn't kind of live with that crease. That crease was hurting my soul. So I came in with my blade and I literally just sliced it, and then you can then overlap one bit of the pumpkin with the other bit just to get rid of that crease. Now, I'm not saying there are no other creases, there are definitely creases, but of course this is the front of the heart and it works better if it's going to hang on the outside of my book. This is the section I will see. There is one thing I'd like to try with the washi tape as well, and that's to use it upside down in backwards, if that makes sense. So yeah, that might have to come up after Easter. I am using my absolute favourite jewellery go-to drill that I use for epoxy resin and Jesmonite, and it is a USB operated drill, perfect for resin jewellery and Jesmonite jewellery. And then I'm using a little eyelet to screw it in there. All of the details for anything like that are all in my Amazon storefront down below in my description box. I've got a whole storefront just for jewellery, and that USB drill is in there. And guys, look at this. I love it. There is something so moody about this, right up my street. I'm using pumpkins in March. It's okay because we can do what we want. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've added some black twine to both of them to attach them both so they are now one thing. We have the bookmark, we have the charm. Cannot wait to use it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. This has also given me another idea. I'm actually gonna try, after Easter, after the Easter videos, I'm gonna actually try some black. I feel like jet black resin with this washi tape on top, I think could be a winner. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's much shorter than the last two, but nonetheless, I love the results. I love the colour scheme. I love the background colour. I adore the fact that I've just used mostly leaves. I did add one flower at the end, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Love the pumpkin. Love everything about it. I will see you all in the next video. Hope you've enjoyed. Saturday's video is big. It is a multi-layered. I think there's 4 or 5 layers of resin with washi tape in between each layer. It took a week to make. I hope you love it as well. So I will see you on Saturday for my next video. I'll see you all then. Bye.